Centex Sports Network. Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, CEO of Lighthouse Streaming, and you're watching Centex Sports Network.
My name is Debbie Kimbrell. I am the administrative assistant here at Anderson Chapel.
Texas area, but from all around the nation. Happy Monday to everybody out there. We're back. Another great week of sports. Had another great weekend of sports as they wrapped up the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 on the men's side of the bracket, and we've got our Final Four teams set. We'll talk about that today. Baseball season has started. We got baseball started up. I know we got plenty of baseball fans here. We've also got MCC baseball and softball that's been going on the website and been going on right here on Centex Sports Network for the last few days. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on Centex Sports Network, whether that's over on YouTube, Centex Sports TV / Centex Sports Network over on YouTube, whether that is on Facebook, Centex Sports Network, or also on X or Twitter, whichever one you want to call it, at Centex Sports TV on there as well. Like I said, folks, we got plenty to talk about here today as we get ready to start this show. We'll wrap up talking about this Stephen A. versus LeBron thing. Don't want to get that too much more energy. We'll talk some more about the NCAA women's side of the bracket. They're wrapping up the Elite Eight as UConn versus USC, kind of bittersweet as Juju Watkins is not playing. That'll happen tonight. We watched South Carolina punch their ticket to the Final Four yesterday as well, along with UCLA taking out former Baylor Bears coaching legend Kim Mulkey as she's coaching down at LSU right now. UCLA gets the win over them. We'll talk about the men's side and how those 4 number 1 seeds make it all the way. First time since 2008, I believe, that all number 1 seeds have made it. And I kind of thought that was going to happen. I psyched myself out of doing it and trying to pick upsets in my bracket. And I picked Alabama to upset Duke. Okay, I'll let y'all get on me about that. Looking back on it, that wasn't exactly the smartest pick, especially after seeing how Duke dominated against Alabama. We'll talk about the NBA today as well as, obviously, we got to see Fight Night in the NBA last night as the Pistons versus the Timberwolves got a little scratch in there, got a little pushing and shoving, nothing too crazy. People were saying Malice in the Palace Part 2. Far from that. I need y'all to go rewatch the Malice in the Palace if y'all think that's what's going on. But we'll talk about some of that in the NBA. We'll talk about some of these teams in the NBA. We won't just talk about the drama and the fights. We'll talk about the teams. We'll talk about the Lakers' Big Three looking good again. We'll talk about my Houston Rockets dominating the NBA for the last month. So we'll talk about all of that here today on the show on Centex Primetime. If you're watching with us on YouTube, go over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like this stream, share this stream. Also, click the bell so you can get notified when we go live here 5 to 7 p.m. weekdays right here on Centex Sports Network. Joining me here today for the conversation, calling in with us again on Monday, I've got PJ Gaither calling in with us to join in on some of these convos. PJ, what's going on?
Man, I'm just chilling, man. Just been having fun watching, March Madness, both women's and men. Really, man, it's been really good. So I'm excited to talk about this today.
Yeah, both sides have been exceptional to say the least. And like I said, the women will wrap up their Elite Eight tonight as Texas will be playing. Of course, I'll be rooting for Madison Booker and those girls out there. And also USC and UConn will be playing tonight. Like I said, kind of bittersweet since Juju Watkins won't be playing. We'll talk about that here today. Folks, like I said, we got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened just in the past weekend. I feel like I say that every Monday, but every weekend we get some crazy stuff happening. This time, before we dive all the way into this Final Four and the set, BJ, I know you've seen that fight, man. It's circulating on every social media platform right now. The Pistons and the Timberwolves getting some fisticuffs in yesterday. I've seen multiple people today have different takes on this. First off, the Pistons and Timberwolves had a fight break out in the second quarter of their game yesterday. Timberwolves ended up winning that game eventually. But 7 people were ejected from this game. 5 players and 2 coaches were actually ejected, including head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, were ejected from this game after a fight broke out. Dante DiVincenzo and I believe Ron Holland had got into it first, and then Nas Reed kind of joined in on the action Everyone knows Isaiah Stewart was going to be on that. As soon as you heard Pistons and fight,
Crash
you knew the number one crash out in the league was going to be involved in this fight. And he was like trying to choke people out. I'm like, man, y'all got this dude need to go sit down on that couch, man, talk to the lady a little bit, because you trying to choke people out. What happened to, man, you seen Charles Barkley and them throwing some punches back in the day. He went immediately for choke. I'm like, this dude is crazy for real, man. Y'all got to leave this guy alone. But we saw some people fighting. I've seen some different takes on it. Now this is the part I don't like. I don't like to see guys get on there and say like, oh yeah, I'm not mad at them for fighting, but I'm not gonna be a proponent of them fighting because of the punishment that's finna get pushed down. Man, these dudes, the playoffs are a week away, a week or so away, and we might see guys getting 10 to 15 game suspensions off of this. Both of those two teams are playoff teams. That's not what I want to see. But at the same time, some of the older talking heads and former players of the NBA, they're the reason for this. Oh, man, these dudes soft. They always want a jersey swap. Don't nobody want to punch nobody in the mouth. Then when somebody punch somebody in the mouth, don't nobody stand up and say, man, no, they shouldn't get 10 to 15 games. Don't nobody call the league office and call Adam Silver and say, hey, give these guys a break. Don't give these guys 10, 15. You're talking about millions of dollars being gone from these guys' bank accounts. Millions of dollars being gone. And y'all are, oh, man, they don't fight. Back in the day, we saw Dr. J try to put hands on Larry Bird. Okay, they were going to get fined $20, bro. That's cool. Of course they were going to punch somebody. They were going to miss lunch that afternoon. That's all that's missing. You punch somebody right now, millions of dollars are going to be gone. Ron Artest got suspended for a season. That's millions. That's $15 to $20 million gone out of your account. Plus you get the stigma put on you for the rest of the time of your career. I don't like that part of, you can't have it both ways. You can't do the, man, these guys need to be tougher and stop doing all this. And then, oh, man, what are these guys doing out here fighting? We gotta pick a side here. Now, I will say that I wasn't too mad at that. One, the DiVincenzo and Ron Holland got into it. And then, of course, everybody started to pile on. That's what they're supposed to do. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of physicality, and nobody threw a punch that we could see. Now, on the bottom of that pile, I'm sure there were some punches thrown, but we couldn't see that because there was 100 people standing around. So we couldn't even see that. We knew Isaiah Stewart was going to be involved. I saw him moving people out the way just to be able to get to DiVincenzo to try to choke him out. Then he finally gets his hands on Nas Reed at the bottom of the pile and starts talking to him crazy, starts trying to choke him out. I'm like, man, this dude needs some help. But what you also see in these fights is the guys that want no smoke whatsoever. None. I saw Rudy Gobert put his hand on people's shoulders. What are you doing? Are you going to get involved in the fight? Or are you patting people on the back? I see Malik Beasley. You out here patting people on the back while people is out here trying to choke each other out. You patting people on the back. Some people don't want no smoke in the NBA, but I don't like for them to paint the broad brush of none of these players want any smoke in the NBA. All these guys are soft. And all these guys not soft. Isaiah Stewart had to show y'all it's still some crash outs in the league. Just because y'all crash outs only got fined $5 and got to play the next game doesn't mean that they ain't still crash outs in the league today. PJ, what was your thoughts when you seen, obviously, the viral clip with multiple angles now of this fight between the Pistons and the Timberwolves?
I mean, to me, it really wasn't that bad. It was just a little scuffle. You had guys, it was just a little scuffle, man. It was nothing near the Malice and the Palace.
Not even close.
That wasn't even close. They got to stop with that comparison. But yeah, it was just a small little scuffle. I don't think it was that bad. Now I'm with you. If these guys are going to condone and want these guys to throw punches and fight, then y'all need to be going to the league office and telling them to don't come down on as bad as a punishment for these guys. These guys get punished nowadays. You throw a punch, you ain't even really got to throw a punch. These guys are finna get punished just on this little small scuffle, which if this was, 30 years ago, 20-something years ago, this would have been a small scuffle.
Small.
But we don't really see, we don't really see fights no more like that. So it's a huge deal right now because of that. We don't really see fights no more in the league. And it's all because of the punishments that's coming down on these players. So if y'all gonna be condoning and calling these guys, I really don't like when the older guys call them soft. Because when you call somebody soft, they're going to feel obligated to show you that they're not soft.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? So why even tempt somebody or even tempt these players to even have to feel like that they have to stand on something whenever there's nothing to prove. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it was a small scuffle. Now, do I think that it was kind of smart for either team to really get into that scuffle? Not necessarily, because now, the playoffs, like you said, is coming up,
Around
and
the
some of
corner.
you guys are probably going to miss. Y'all probably going to miss a playoff game.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one or two, maybe three, you're still going to miss. That's, man, we need everybody for the playoffs. Both teams. Both teams are going to possibly be in the playoffs. I mean, both of them were 42 and 32 coming into this game. And so y'all have a chance to be up in the playoffs, or you're going to go ahead and already be in the playoffs. So having guys that play a role on your team missing games right now that's just not good really right now, man. So I mean, but it happens, man. It's part of the game. We're gonna have disagreements. Guys gonna get into scuffle sometimes. It is what it is. But I don't really necessarily think that it was a smart move for either team, any other players. Sometimes you just got to be the bigger person in certain situations and leave that alone. But yeah, it was a small scuffle, man. It was entertaining, I'd say. You don't really see guys really
Yeah,
scuffle no
it
more
added a
like
little
that. But
entertainment for sure, because wasn't nobody watching
yeah,
the
it added
Pistons
for a
versus
little
Timberwolves.
entertainment. Most definitely. Yeah,
Wasn't nobody.
nobody was watching it.
But everybody
Nobody's
tuned in
watching
after
it.
that to see
Yeah.
the only fight that we've had in I don't even know how long. And like you said, I mean, some of these guys might potentially miss the playoffs, and that's the part I don't like about this. And some of these guys, nobody involved in that fight was a star. So some of these guys are going to get taxed money that they don't need to be losing out of their bank accounts. Like, I mean, they're honestly going to lose millions of dollars. You miss multiple games, plus whatever fine they're going to put on you, that's going to amount to millions of dollars. So I don't want to see that. And like you said, when all these older guys come out and say league is soft and this is soft, well, this is the result. Somebody's going to go out there and try to show you that I ain't soft. And we're seeing what I do like about it is more and more teams are starting to add that enforcer back onto their teams, and everybody needs that. That's for any sport.
Yeah.
You need those enforcers on your teams. James Johnson has been on the Pacers, who the Pistons have been beefing with to this season, and they might match up in the first round, which could end up being a fun playoff matchup. But James Johnson been on the Pacers. I ain't even seen him checking the game. He been on the Pacers about 2-3 years. You know why? Because he's a certified crash out, and he's also a black belt. I don't know why. See, Isaiah Stewart.
Nobody's trying to.
Yeah, nobody trying to see that.
Nobody's-
Isaiah Stewart, he wants to try to bully all these people in the league and all this stuff, and I get it. That's your role. Go ahead and do that. And he showed that yesterday when the fight came. He was with all the smoke. I know y'all got a beef with the Pacers. Don't bring that over to the Pacers sideline, man, with James Johnson. This dude was trying to be a professional kickboxer and just stumbled upon the NBA. Like, you don't want to fight him, bro. I don't care how much you think you've been pushing people around. It's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. I'm just going to say that now. But I just seen that the New York Knicks, who traded for P.J. Tucker, just extended him on a 2-year deal. Now, this is why I ain't even seen P.J. Tucker playing the game in like 3 years. They said, hey, we're going to put you on another 2 years on this deal just so you can be on the end of this bench and be a crash out for us just in case anything else happens. Because, they got a bunch of nice guys on the Knicks. They got Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and Karl Towns, who talks like a Kardashian every now and then. Like, they need somebody on the end of this bench. Just go, and I don't know what that is with Karl Towns and that voice switch and stuff. Somebody got to check that out. I don't know how that happens, but they added him on the team. And like I said, James Johnson, all these guys. We saw UD on the Heat for 20 years without playing. Like, we seen these guys starting to get added back into them, and I do like that part of it. But I hope the league doesn't come down too hard on these guys. And, it was a part of the game at one point. But they got rid of it because they realized star power was bigger than whatever appeal there is with fighting or whatever that, guys trying to prove a point about fighting. And for, the 90s lovers that do watch this, and that man, Michael Jordan had to go and get beat up and had to do, when they start taking the rules out, when Michael Jordan started getting hit, they said, oh, hold on. We finna break up the whole Bad Boys Pistons. Rick Mahorn, you go to another team. We're going to start setting. That happened with Michael Jordan. And then what Mike do? He won 6 rings. That's a separate conversation, but y'all always want to, man, he had to go through the something. He kind of didn't. Because when they were fouling him and beating him up, he lost. They stopped fouling and beating him up. He won. It's that simple. So clearly, star power has been outweighing the fight appeal of the NBA for years. But this is what's going to come with it when you keep calling guys soft. And I seen they had the hockey dude on ESPN like a month ago, and he was like, see, the NBA players, they're too soft and they make too much money. They don't want to get out there and fight. It's like, okay, hold on, bro.
You
First,
see, bro, come on now.
You got to stop with stuff like that. First off, bro, you are a goalie or something.
Why are you pocket watching though?
Yeah, that's what it is. He's mad that, man, these dudes making all this money and they don't want to fight. Yeah, I mean, if somebody gives me $150 million, I don't really want to fight either.
Why would I be fighting?
What am I fighting for? Y'all the ones that want to fight on skates. They didn't make the NBA players don't want to do that, bro. And they making 100 times what y'all make. So what do you now they weak because they don't want to box? Maybe they just don't want to box, bro. It seems pretty simple to me. They're making too much money. And if you do box, they're gonna take $1 million from you. I probably just want to keep my $1 million in my pocket. So that's what guys are doing now. I don't think it has anything to do with this soft stuff that everybody tries to put on. Like,
they gotta stop with that, man. That's nonsense.
It is. It's complete and total nonsense. Y'all want to call them soft because of the way that stuff is played, or maybe even like the way they dress or something cool. But to just go out there and like they soft. Or why they soft? They ain't punch nobody in the face. Do they get paid to punch somebody in the face, or do they get paid to get buckets? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, these dudes aren't professional boxers, just like y'all aren't professional boxers.
And we seen some of them wild punches y'all was throwing, Charles Barkley. Them wide punches y'all was out there throwing. Y'all wouldn't hurt nobody either.
Nobody with them punches. Like, come on, man. Like,
so
then the pocket watching got to come to a halt. That's insane to say. Like, dudes is making too much money. I really don't like when people say stuff like that when it regards these NBA players or even NFL players.
Yeah.
Just because if you knew anything about business, then you will understand the reason why they are able to get paid that much. It's not like people are just throwing these guys money.
Yeah.
If you know business, then you know.
See, they like NBA, I said, they were getting fined $100 last when they were fighting. So it's different.
Yeah, like, it's different. It's different, man. These guys, they got $350 million contracts, $200 million contracts.
And you want them to risk
They're
that,
finding these
so
guys.
y'all can sit on TV and say, "Man, that guy's tough." Like, hey, bro.
Like, come on, bro. That's stupid.
That don't even make sense. That's called getting tricked out your own spot. That's what that's called.
Man.
And that's what they want to happen. They want these dudes to get tricked out their own. No, Isaiah Stewart, go show him how tough you are. And then when he gets fined millions and he's playing in the big three, y'all not going to Adam Silver and going to help him. Y'all just gonna let him play in the big three. Nobody's gonna say, man, let's get this guy a spot back in the league. Ain't nobody gonna say that. So don't let these guys trick y'all out your spot, man. Nobody cares about being. First of all, why are you even worrying about being tough still? Like, ain't y'all millionaires too? Why are you worrying about being tough? You know what Michael Rubin does when he wakes up? Doesn't think about being tough. Jeff Bezos has never thought about being tough. But why we got to be the tough guys? Like, that's all.
Whether you're in the professional world or just out here being regular, being tough ain't gonna get you nowhere, man.
Nowhere. Nowhere at all. We seeing it too much. Being tough is not gonna get you anywhere.
We see these rappers be trying to be too tough and they getting RICO cases.
Indictments. Keep being tough you want to. You're getting indicted. Big U was real tough. Indicted.
Yeah.
Yella Beezy tried to look really tough. Indicted. Like, so it's not gonna get you nowhere, man. Like, let's leave the tough stuff alone, and why don't we just focus on basketball? That's kind of been the whole talk over the last 2 weeks is how we're not talking about enough basketball. We talk about all this other random stuff, and don't talk about the actual sports of it. So I don't get that. And we didn't have you on at the end of the week last week when we talked about the LeBron versus Stephen A. type thing. I don't know if you had anything you want to chime in to say about this whole beef that's taking place over the last week after Braun went on Pat McAfee and said what he had to say, and Stephen A. always is going to have something to say, so he had to come back on there and say something as well.
Yeah, Stephen A., man, and I see it from both sides, but I'm more on LeBron's side than anything. Now, I don't like how people are trying to come. Some people, not everyone. I feel like most people are on LeBron's side in the situation, but I don't like how some people are actually getting on their podcast or, getting on their shows and pretty much trying to make it seem like LeBron was in the wrong for what he did. I feel like anyone in that situation, if you're a father, like we're fathers, bro.
Yeah.
We're not going to let anyone just come out and speak about our child in any type of way and think that they can be around us in the same building, same room as us, and we don't have nothing to say to that person. That's just not realistic. I feel like everyone in that situation would have reacted in the same way. And I don't necessarily think that LeBron, I don't think that he reacted wrong. I feel like he reacted I feel like his reaction was a very good reaction. He came to him man to man, and he said what he had to say. Now, I think that it's lame and very weak of Stephen A to get on your podcast and start speaking tough.
He said I would have immediately swung on him if he'd have
swung on him.
Bro, we just sat on here last week and had this whole talk about people trying to fight professional athletes, bro. And now the 60-year-old Stephen A is gonna get on here and talk tough.
You're not a fighter, but you're not a fighter. I ain't saying that LeBron's a fighter either, but you're not. You're losing. You're losing
not even
that
athletic,
battle,
bro. You're not even athletic. You're one of the most athletic humans to ever walk Earth.
Come on, man. That doesn't even make sense. I really don't understand why he would even come out and say that, because there was no situation. There was nothing in that situation that was going to turn that physical.
Nothing.
LeBron wasn't thinking anything physical in that situation. So why would you get on your show after the fact and speak tough? That's weak. You're weak.
And then called him weak. He called LeBron weak.
He called LeBron weak. But did you call him weak whenever he was in your face on the court?
Nope.
I know you didn't.
Matter of fact, he didn't say anything.
You didn't really say nothing. So, it's really like Smokey on Friday. You know what I mean? It's like Smokey on Friday.
Yeah, I don't. And the tough part, that was just taken away out of bounds in my opinion. Stephen A. said a lot of things, and I feel like this was kind of just a buildup of it. And then he tries to cover himself by getting all on ESPN and saying he's just mad at me because I don't got him as my GOAT. Bro, how many people? You realize that most people don't have him as the GOAT, especially in his age group, that 40 to 60 age group, is the ones that are on national television. None of them have him as the GOAT. We're just seeing some people like Shannon Sharp or Kendrick Perkins or some of these other people coming on and saying, oh, I got LeBron. So why didn't he pull up on all of them if that's what this is about?
Come on, man. That's lame. He been to that's a lame excuse. He's LeBron don't care about that.
No.
LeBron a billionaire.
Billion. With a B.
LeBron a billionaire. He got 4 rings.
Yep.
4 rings.
50,000 points.
Come on, man. And possibly got a chance to get a 5th ring this year the way they've been playing. We're going to talk about them later.
Yeah.
But his son is in the league on the same team as him. So he has a son that's in the league. He got another son that's a top player in his class coming out this year. Why would? Come on, bro. He's met he's went way above any expectations that we had for him coming out of high school back in 2003.
Everything that and they put all the expectations you could put on somebody.
All the expectations on him.
And he's exceeded them. Yeah. And for you to come out and now you want to call this dude weak, and you want to, and then he tried to say I was just doing my job covering the league. No, you weren't. You're talking about Bronny. You haven't talked about one other draft pick. He was 55. You haven't talked about the other 54 before him once. You haven't said it once.
And am I a fan? I won't even sit here and lie and say that I was a fan of Bronny getting into the league and playing and everything, and how he's played. And he's shown. I'm not gonna lie. He's shown glimpses of what he could possibly be.
He can hoop.
Definitely as of late. He can be. Is he going to be a star like his dad? No, but there a lot of guys in the league whose dad was a star and they ended up getting to the league and they met the same expectations as their father? No, it's a lot of guys whose dad was in the league and were stars, but they're just role players in the league.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. He's still in the league. So Bronny has enough talent to be a role player. Does he have enough talent to be a star? No. But he has talent to be a role player in the league.
And that
Don't
should be
just
enough.
speak on him being, if he's playing bad, don't just speak on him. Speak on other guys that were in the same draft that hasn't been playing good either. And that was the whole point of this situation anyway, is if you're going to talk about Bronny, you have to talk about other guys that was in the draft as well, who's not, because there's a lot of other guys in the draft who aren't playing well either.
Plenty.
And where Bronny got drafted, he doesn't deserve that much coverage that y'all giving him. Y'all only giving him that much coverage because of who his dad is.
Facts. Yeah.
So, I hate that the situation even got took to that point, and it's all on Stephen A. That's why I disagree with anybody who's saying that LeBron was wrong with his reaction, because Stephen A. is the reason why this situation has even kept on going, and why we're even speaking on the situation still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of Stephen A. going on his show and wanting to speak tough. I'm lost that he's speaking tough. LeBron's better than me. Because if you get on your show, you get on your show speaking tough after we done already have an encounter, and I really had you hush mouth in front of thousands of people, and then you want to get on your show and speak tough, I'm gonna have to pull up on you again.
I mean,
because you clearly thought that I was playing. You thought I was playing with you. You know what I mean? Like now I'm thinking that you think I'm a sucker. So now I gotta pull up on you again.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy to see. The tough part, I mean, that was just like the icing on the cake. That was just kind of wild, honestly. Who even said anything? LeBron didn't say it. Nobody said anything about doing anything physical. And I'm letting you know right now. If he was, bro, what are you talking about? Nobody ever said that LeBron was going to do that. If LeBron can sit there and not swing on Kevin Garnett, and Kevin Garnett has called him anything that anybody could ever be called while they're in the middle of a game, he ain't swing on him. Why would he swing on you?
Like, you're not even like that, bro.
We know for a fact that you're not like. So why are we even taking it there? Second, all the stuff he keeps changing and trying to change the narrative and change it what he originally said. LeBron would have never said anything to you if you didn't say, "I'm pleading with you as a father to stop letting your son play basketball in the national basketball." That's what you said. That's why he said something to you. You keep talking about because crazy. People are saying because he's playing bad. LeBron don't care about that. LeBron has been the most talked about person in any sport ever, because he also got famous right when social media started to rise. So it automatically makes him the most talked about athlete ever. No one has gone through that much. They start talking about Jordan. He retired for 2 years. Like LeBron is like they talked about him from from 15 years old in high school to now he's 40, and they've been talking about him, and he's never done that. So, but you saying, "Oh, it's only because I didn't call him the GOAT." Then you get on there after changing your position multiple times. Then you start lying. Oh, you want to get personal after LeBron roasted you, and you got mad about him roasting you. You said, "Oh, since you want to get personal, I can say some personal stuff too." I ain't even gonna talk about why you weren't at Kobe's funeral, and then he was at Kobe's funeral. You didn't even try to fact check. Like you're spiraling out of control.
Those are words that are worth you getting beat up. You know what I mean? And then it's crazy because if LeBron pull up and whoop you, you're going to sue.
Oh, man. I mean, come on. Sue is an understatement.
So you only speaking crazy like this, bro, because you know that he really – see, that's what I'm saying. He know that LeBron's not going to even entertain it. Like, he's not going to even entertain pulling up and whooping you. So that's why you're willing to just talk crazy like that, man. Like,
he was mad about him just responding. He went on Pat McAfee and just responded to stuff you said, and you was heated. You was hot. Now he's weak and he's doing all this stuff. And then the other guys on there, the Kendrick Perkins and other guys, man, why didn't he go on Shannon Sharp and do that? Why didn't he go on one of our podcasts and do that? He don't got to help the community because he's in the middle of a beef. Now he got to be a community builder while he's trying to get in the middle of a beef. Now he got to build the community. Now go on a Black Dude's podcast and say this same stuff and get them some views. Bro, why does it got to – y'all just trying to find – you're literally trying to search for anything to where LeBron could be wrong on this. All LeBron did was respond to somebody. That's it. Because you was talking about this kid and you was saying stuff that's out of bounds. You were saying he sucked and that he's pleading with you as a father because he doesn't belong in the league. and it all turned out to not be true. He is good. Actually, he can play in the league. And he did it.
He can play.
So now what? Now we don't talk about that, but we got to talk about, now he's mad at me because I said that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and I'm always going to put him at the GOAT. I heard Nick Wright that works on Fox say this, and I said this last week. before anybody came on national television and said it. He doesn't like LeBron because LeBron was never his texting buddy. Michael Jordan is his texting buddy. I said last week on the show, Stephen A. is to Michael Jordan what academics is to Drake. Michael Jordan hits up Stephen A. whenever somebody's making a debate and he'll text him, yeah, tell him how I had 40 when I was in Washington one night. But you never talk to him the rest of the year. He don't tell Stephen A. happy birthday. Yeah. He don't invite him to the club. He don't do none of that. He just texts you, and you're so happy that he just texts you that, man, I'll hate LeBron for the rest of my career because Michael Jordan texts me and LeBron don't text me. He don't never let me get no interviews with him. He don't come on ESPN and tell me how good I am. Like, come on, that's lame, man. The whole situation is lame. I hope they done with it. I hope both parties. I know LeBron's done with it. Hopefully Stephen A. doesn't get back on there and keep making up more lies. So, I don't want to talk about why you were in the D-Waves, while you wanted his statue unveiling, because his son just had a heart issue like 3 or 4 days before that, and they were still in the hospital.
Like, why are you trying to go so below the belt where it's really nothing that you can even really pull out? Yeah, and you're wrong. Like, you're really – that's crazy. That's crazy to me,
He's
man.
spiraling out of control.
He's out of pocket to the point where I think Shannon Sharp said he's not going to be on First Take anymore.
No, he gonna be on. Shannon Sharp was on there today.
He gonna be on there?
Then he was on there today. Them checks is clearing. Shannon ain't finna get. What he did say is, I ain't finna get in the middle of that. He said, that ain't my beef. He said, I don't like the way that Stephen A. handles some stuff, but that ain't for me to. That's between them. I ain't getting in the middle of it. I wish Kendrick Perkins would have did the same. He got on. I mean, it's starting to turn to like Real Housewives of basketball or something, man. Like this is getting out of control. Kendrick Perkins talking about, hey, Stephen A. When LeBron blocked me on social media and stuff, or when he unfollowed, he didn't even block him. All he did was unfollow Kendrick Perkins. When he unfollowed me, I went to my phone and I blocked LeBron's number. Bro, what? Like,
he lame too. He lame too. And I love Perk. I love
Perk too. But that was lame, bro. Why are you sitting there revealing that type of information? Yeah, I blocked his number, bro. Man, this is not Zeus Network, bro. We on ESPN talking about basketball.
What are we doing?
So, like I said, I hope both parties is done with this, man, and they can finally get past all this nonsense that they've had going since LeBron went on Pat McAfee last week. I didn't see Stephen A. say nothing about LeBron, but he's gonna say something again. He's just waiting on the right moment to get out there and say something again. That's what he does, and that's why LeBron was right when he said you was lying, talking about I wasn't gonna speak on the situation, but the bosses made me do it, bro. All you do is speak about LeBron, and then he confronts you in front of 40,000 people at Madison Square Garden, and now you weren't gonna say nothing. Of course you was gonna say something. So like it's just the random stuff like that, man. But both sides, leave us alone, man. We got plenty of basketball to talk about. We ain't got to sit up and talk about y'all's beef with each other. While we're talking about basketball, the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 on the men's side of the bracket is complete. We have the Final Four set, and we've got all number one seeds in the NCAA tournament in the Final Four. First time since 2008, I believe, 2008 or 2009 that's happened.
Yeah, 2008.
When I was picking my bracket, I had all number one seeded first, and I went back the day before and changed it because I was like, nah, man, all number one seeds don't make it. And I got tricked out of my spot, got psyched out by everybody trying to pick these upsets that I picked Alabama to beat Duke in the Elite 8. But that's the only one I got wrong. Besides that, my Final Four is right. But I picked Alabama to beat Duke. And clearly I was wrong because Duke came out there and smacked Alabama yesterday. Really had the whole team in handcuffs. They couldn't do anything the entire game. Duke won that game 85-65. When I picked it, I was trying to pick, okay, who do I think can have a good game and kind of upset somebody? And I like Mark Sears from Alabama. I was like, okay, well, if he goes off, maybe I have a chance. Well, that didn't happen. He goes 2 for 12. They lock him up. This Duke team is deep. They just got too many guys. They got guys that come off the bench that are going to start on just about every other team. Then they've got the best player in the nation in Cooper Flagg to go along with it. Cooper Flagg had 16 points, a block, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists yesterday. Knipple went off for 21 points, hit 2 threes in that game. Also, Tyrese Proctor was a problem in that game with 7 to 10, had 17 points as Duke beat Alabama. PJ, when we were looking at this game yesterday, is there anybody going to beat this Duke team? Because like I said last week, I picked Florida to win the national championship. But after the first game that I saw Duke play, especially after they beat Baylor, I was like, man, I don't see nobody beating this Duke team.
It's tough, man. I mean, at this point, though,
I feel like any team that's right now that's in the Final Four can win the championship. So I'll say really anybody. You just like I said last week though, if you're gonna come and play Duke, you really got to play your best game. That's what it's gonna take to beat these guys. You're gonna have to really play your best game because out of all these last four teams, I feel like that they have the biggest upside out of any of the teams that's in the Final Four right now. So anybody can beat them. These other three teams, they can. You just got to play your best game. You really got to go out there and play perfect almost. I'm talking about in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Like you have to almost be perfect to beat this Duke team because of their depth, because of the way their coach John Shire has done a phenomenal job. I didn't know how Duke was going to look after Coach K finally left, but honestly, they've looked better than the last few years of Duke that Coach K was there. Yeah. And it was probably just time for – I mean, Coach K, he's put in plenty of work. He's one of the best coaches in basketball, college or professional. So, obviously, he's put in plenty of work. But it might have just been time for a new voice in the locker room. John Shire comes along, and he is that new voice. And this Duke team, right, I mean, you got to play almost unbeatable. Alabama did not do that. That's why they ended up losing that game. The team that Duke is going to be playing has been my favorite team. Baylor got eliminated, but I knew Baylor was going to get eliminated. Been my favorite team in all this, and that's U of H. Houston is right back at the top of basketball, just like they were with Phi Slamma Jamma. I mean, this team, I had them going to the championship game last year when they got upset, when they had Jamal Sheed and all those dudes on the team. That didn't work out. Now Cryer is leading these guys to another victory or to another chance at getting this, and they've gotten back to this Final Four. Houston is really the only other team in that Elite Eight that had a dominant performance. We watched Duke pretty much dominate against Alabama. The only other team that got dominated or that had a dominating victory was U of H. It's because this team is the most physical. That's why I liked them last year. This team is so physical when they're playing basketball. They've got multiple good guards there, but obviously it's being led by L.J. Cryer. Like I said, he's got championship experience. He knows what it feels like to see the confetti drop because he did it at Baylor when he was a freshman 6 years ago. I don't know how he's a freshman 6 years ago and now he's still in basketball, but we don't know that, and somehow he's still playing college basketball. But he is their leader on this team, him along with Juwan Roberts. And I love this U of H team. They got a win over Tennessee 69-50 in the Elite Eight to move them on to the Final Four. They win the Midwest region in convincing fashion at this point because U of H, they struggled just about one game. Every other game outside of that, U of H is dominated, and that U of H versus Duke matchup is going to be crazy. What do you think about this U of H team and how they've looked so far up to this point?
Oh yeah, that's the team, like you said, that I'm rooting for as well. We don't support any team out of Texas, but definitely U of H because that's just a team I've always loved to support, and
sure.
A school that I've always been big on. I wanted to go to U of H coming out of high school.
Same.
But U of H, this team, man, like you said, they're very, very good, and they were the only team besides Duke that had a dominating win. Like I did just say that Duke, I feel like has the biggest upside, but I really feel like that we really haven't really seen Houston play at their best, even though we just said that they dominated, this past game. I still feel like that they can play even better than what they've shown. So with Houston, I'm going with Houston for the win. Gotta support Houston. Like I said, any team out of Texas, but it's like I said, man, if you're gonna play Duke, you gotta play perfect. And I feel like any team right now that's capable of doing that is Houston. I feel like that they match up very well against Duke, but it's just all about being perfect, and you got to be locked in, man. This going against Duke, you're gonna have to go to sleep early.
Oh yeah, you got to
go to
good night's rest. No going out the night before you playing against these boys, and that's the type of games that I'm really looking forward to watching this weekend because since we got all these number one seeds in the Final Four, that means this is the best basketball. There's no Cinderella team, a 10 seed, 11 seed that's got all the way this far, and they got to just try hard, but they really outmatched. All four of these teams match equally with everybody. All four of these teams can win the championship. All four of these teams came into the year thinking we're going to win a championship. So we're going to get an elite level of basketball getting played with all these teams playing, and it's going to start with that Duke and Houston. That's the second game, but that's the game I'm looking forward to the most because Auburn and Florida is going to be a good game too. We're going to talk about them in a second, but we've seen that already twice this year. This Duke versus Houston, this is their first time matching up. We know what Houston's bringing to the table. We know what Duke is bringing to the table. Both of these teams are very physical. Both of these teams have a high level of talent. Man, I'm really looking forward to watching this game. At just first glance, I got to go with Duke because, man, they got something that Houston doesn't have, and that's Cooper Flag. They have the best player left in the tournament. So when you have that, that's automatically going to give you a chance. But what I will say is Knipple and all those guys that Tyrese Proctor, they're going to have to come and play. Because L.J. Crier's not playing around. If you're from this Texas area, you've seen L.J. Crier at Baylor. You've seen what he's done in Houston. But a lot of us remember what L.J. Crier was doing in high school. L.J. Crier was a walking 40-piece in high school. Like, L.J. Crier has been nice. Been nice since high school days. So we know what he can do, and he's going to step up in the big moments. That's why in that game against Purdue, when they needed it the most, he dropped 40. Because, he knows what it to be able to, or drop 30. He knows what it takes to be able to go to this next level, and he's got that. That's something that these other guys don't have that are in the Final Four. So that's going to be a great Duke. That game is on Saturday. Both the Final Four games will be on Saturday. That'll be the last one at about 8 o'clock. That game will come on. The other two teams in this matchup, first, I'll start with the Florida Gators, the team that I picked to be able to move forward and to win the championship and to win it all. First off, they had me sweat because that game against Tech, honestly, they were supposed to lose that game. I mean, just being
Tech had it.
Yeah, they were supposed to lose that game. They had to come back literally in the last seconds. Tech had them all the way on the ropes in that game. Wayne, I know that you picked Florida to win, but I know you wanted Tech to win this game because you're a Red Raider. Of course, and we'll have Wayne on tomorrow. He'll come on and talk about that. But this Tech team, man, I thought they did it. I thought they finally pulled off the upset and getting past Florida because they had these dudes. I mean, they were up by like 13 with like 5 minutes left to go in the game. So I'm like, man, they might actually do this. But Walter Clayton Jr., first off, you just got to fear a dude that's playing a sport named Walter. Anybody's got an old name like that, man, this dude, he's going to be cold. He's going to have an old game. He's going to be nice out there. And Walter Clayton is a dog. We've seen him step up and make huge shots all year long. But knocking down those 3 threes almost in a row for his team, one of them was a turnaround 3. I'm like, man, this dude is just chunking shots. But then they started going in. And he's been doing that all year long. He is the reason why I picked Florida to win it all. And just their depth that they have on this team, the amount of size they have on this team, because that frustrated Texas Tech as well. When Florida needed to come back in the game, they started putting all those big guys that they have on this team in the game, and they just started killing them on the boards. Usually we see teams go the opposite, and they start going small when they're trying to make a comeback. Well, Florida went big because that's their one advantage that they have on everybody in the tournament is their size. And so they went out there, put their big guys in the game, were able to come back. Walter Clayton started going crazy out there. And they get past Texas Tech. Texas Tech kind of gave that game away. They missed free throws at the end of the game. They took bad shots at the end of the game. And like you said earlier, I'm always going to root for a team from Texas. So I was hoping that I wasn't going to be mad at Texas Tech won. They were going to mess my bracket up, but I wasn't going to be mad about them winning in that game, man. I support, especially anything Big 12. I'm supporting all the way. So Tech just wasn't able to pull this one out. Florida moves on past them. What do you think about Florida's comeback against Tech last weekend?
I really thought Texas Tech had the game, man. Definitely with the last 5 minutes of the game, I really thought they had it in the bag. And like you said, man, Walter. First off, what year was he born? It really don't even matter. It really don't even matter because he's in college. He had to be. He's in 2000s, baby, for sure. So your name being Walter and you were born in the 2000s, that's insane. He was
got
destined
named
for
after his
greatness.
granddaddy. It says Junior, but I'm thinking you had to get named after your granddaddy, bro.
Yeah, he had to. He was destined for greatness though with that name, for sure. He just showed up. Yeah, he had to. He showed up, man, and really the whole Florida team showed up and came back and won that game. I was just very surprised, man, because Texas Tech had control over that game for really the whole entire game until, like you said, the last few minutes of the game. Honestly, I really don't know how they lost that game.
I don't think Tech knows how they lost the game.
Yeah,
It
man.
just
Like,
kind of happened so quick.
yeah, it happened so fast, man. The tables flipped so fast. But shout out to Florida. You know, them guys, man, they're an incredible team, man. We talked a little bit about them last week. I really like this Florida team. They remind me a lot of the Florida team from back then whenever they went back to back. I think what was that, 2007, 2008?
Yeah, I think the first one was in
Yeah.
06
Or
when they won.
06, yeah, 06, 07, yeah. So they remind me a lot of that team, those teams, man. And like you said, man, they got big guys, bro. And after a while, that kills teams who don't have that. And so I'm looking forward to this Auburn game. We've already seen it because, you know, both teams being in the SEC this year. We've seen that twice. But you know, shout out to the SEC. I gotta give it up to the SEC, man. Because I was talking crazy about you know, I still feel like that they put a lot of teams into the tournament just to have them in there. I don't feel like certain teams from the SEC deserve to be.
I think we were right on our stance on that because we said we know the teams out of the SEC that are good: Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky,
Tennessee,
Auburn,
Alabama.
We knew the teams that were good, and that's already a good enough conference right there. What Missouri do when they got in there? Lost.
Texas, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi State, like
most of them went home in the first round.
First or second. So you know.
So
but,
go ahead.
I know. Yeah, you're right though. You're right. We were right on our stance. But yeah, Florida, man. This game against Auburn is going to be a heavyweight matchup. Really, both, like you said, both these games are going to be a heavyweight matchup this Saturday. And with every team being a first seed, it's going to be just, I'm talking about high level basketball this Saturday. I cannot wait to watch it. Because all these teams, like I said at the beginning, they all have a chance to win the championship. It's really just all on them. It depends on how they're going to come into these games and how they're going to show up and how they're going to execute. Because every team is a championship caliber team.
Oh yeah, all these teams. Like at this point in the season, everyone here is expecting to win. No one's coming in this like, man, a lot of these teams in the tournament, you're not expecting to win the tournament. You're just trying to win a game. All the 4 teams that are in it right now that are left are all trying to win the tournament. So I mean, I can't wait, like you said, for Saturday to be able to see this high level of competition that's going to take place. The other team that they're playing in the Auburn Tigers, #1 seed, took Michigan State, who was a 2 seed, who was a really good team. Man, shout out to Jace Richardson. That dude can hoop. I know his pops was in the league. Jason Richardson was one of my favorite players back in the day when he was playing for Golden State and played for Phoenix and some other teams as well. But Jace Richardson can hoop. The son is nice. But they didn't have enough to take out Auburn. Auburn's just an experienced team. Bruce Pearl is, I mean, he's one of the great coaches in college basketball for a reason. Like, this dude knows how to coach. He knows how to recruit. They built a really tough and physical team in Auburn. Outside of Houston, this is definitely the second most physical team, I feel like, in the tournament that's left. It is this Auburn Tigers team. And then Johnny Broome, he was phenomenal. 25 points and 14 boards. I mean, if your best player is giving you that much, they can beat anybody. That includes Florida. That includes Duke. That includes Houston. They can beat anybody. And we saw Johnny Broome go out with an injury, came back out, and hit a 3 as soon as he touched the ball again after he came back in for being injured. See, that's the kind of stuff where that's championship DNA. When you see people do stuff like that, he went down. I thought he was going to be done. With the injury looked kind of bad, looked like he was in pain, comes back out and continues to pick. He picked right back up where he left off and kept dominating. He went 10 for 13, 2 for 2 on threes, went crazy. What'd you think about this, about Auburn getting that win over Michigan State and in great fashion? Because it looked like Michigan State was going to put on a comeback like we saw Florida do. But Auburn was able to withstand, and upon Johnny Broome came out and continued to dominate again. What'd you think about them getting the win over Michigan State?
Yeah, this game was a heavyweight matchup because you seen Michigan State. They pretty much, I would say they matched up pretty well against this Auburn team.
Oh, yeah.
Both teams are throwing haymakers towards each other, but Auburn was able to, withstand it. And anytime Michigan State, made a statement, they responded.
Yeah.
I mean, you seen it with Johnny Broome, like you said, he went out and then came back. This dude had 25 points and 14 rebounds. Like, that's just dominating.
Yeah.
he's getting they dominated on the boards, and then you got dude over here. He gets hurt, come back in, and really doesn't lose any steam. I mean, it seemed like he came back out and actually started playing better.
Yeah.
So yeah, Auburn, man, I like all these teams. I like how all these teams play, but yeah, Auburn, I was very impressed with the way they played because this was a heavyweight matchup. I feel like this was probably the best game, really, this past weekend. To me, this was one of the best games. One of the games that I would say both teams, either one of them teams could have won that game, and the team who just pretty much made the better plays, better plays going down, really won. So Auburn, they were the better team in this situation, in this game. I think with Michigan State, I was kind of sad that they lost because I kind of liked that Michigan State team, but
yeah,
I mean they played a heck of a game against Auburn, man, and so this is a good. I think this is a good thing for Auburn, just showing that they can really play up against a team that even if they throw some haymakers towards them, they can respond and still come out with the win. And not to say that Duke or Houston or even Florida hasn't shown that. We haven't really seen it too much, but I feel like with Auburn, this was a very good win for them.
This is a huge win for Auburn, for them to get another chance to get back to the Final Four, to finally get this championship that's been getting away from them the last few years. They got another chance to do it, and they get to take on a team that they're familiar with. I mean, most people, they probably want the chance to be able to play against a team like Florida because at least we've played them before. We see the reasons why they won. We see the reasons why we won. We know what they're good at. They know what we're good at.
Do you think this gives them an advantage? I mean, neither team is really going to have an advantage just because they both have seen each other. But do you think with Auburn having played Florida already before, in the conference play, is this giving them an advantage or is it giving Florida more of an advantage?
I don't think either team gets I think it's more of an advantage for both of them that they get to play each other because they've seen it. Obviously, Florida beat Auburn the last time that they played, so they're going to be feeling like, hey, we can do it again. But you can say the same thing for an Auburn team because they beat us, but we know what we did wrong. We can go back and look at the film and correct those things, as opposed to like Houston and Duke. They just got to go out there and hoop against each other. Yeah, you got film and all that, but man, you haven't seen these guys in person. They haven't had to guard L.J. Cryer. Houston hadn't had to guard Cooper Flagg before. So with these guys getting a chance to match up already twice in this season, it's like, hey, we feel like we can go out there and compete with these guys. And it's not like either game was just some type of terrible blowout when they got a chance to play against each other. So both teams, they want to go out there and make a statement. Auburn wasn't able to beat Florida when they played each other on February 8th, but this is a completely different season almost than what was going on February 8th because you've been playing in the tournament. You've had a chance to match up against these other teams. Both teams are hot. And both teams, it's all on the line this time. Before, you were playing just to get a win. This time, everything is on the line. So I think it'll be cool for both of them to get a chance to match back up with each other and get that rematch with each other. But Final Four teams are set, folks. Florida versus Auburn. That game will be at 5 o'clock on today. Houston versus Duke. That game will be at about 8 o'clock on Saturday. They'll be playing in San Antonio. They said last time it was in San Antonio was also the last time that we had all number one seeds going. So I don't know what that means. Y'all can get on the horoscopes or whatever and try to figure that out. I don't know what that means, but the last time it happened, they were also San Antonio, which I didn't know because I feel like it's in San Antonio every year. I feel like every time I look up the Elite Eight or Final Four or something is at San Antonio. But I think maybe I'm thinking about the women's side of it. I think they were the ones that were last in San Antonio, but I feel like it's always in San Antonio. So, but they'll be back in San Antonio this weekend playing in the Final Four. Folks, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some more about the women's side of the bracket as one of those games just tipped off right now as they're finishing up the Elite Eight, and then we'll get UConn versus USC tonight at 9 o'clock. We'll talk about the women's side of the bracket. We'll talk some NBA, talk a little bit in the NFL as well, as we still got a lot to talk about here on Centex Primetime. So stay tuned and stay locked in. We're going to be right back after this short break.
I also work as part of the media ministry. It was great working with Lighthouse. Everyone was very professional, came in to do video recording and streaming for a conference that we hosted here on time. They did what they needed to do, was seamless and transparent. It was great. The feedback, everyone was impressed. So it went out, it was a conference level, so a state level event, and everyone was impressed with the product and the result. We got the DVDs too, which people purchased, and they were impressed with those. It was great overall.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, founder and CEO of Lighthouse Streaming. Over the last 4 years, we've had some tremendous successes, none of which could have been accomplished without you, our clients, and our viewers. From my family and the staff of Lighthouse Streaming, thank you.
My name is Tashay Sayes. I'm a music major at MCC, and I'm so happy to be here. It's crazy how I got here.
My name is Emily Adams. I'm the marketing director for the Texas
Hello and
Asphalt
welcome back
Pavement
into
Association.
Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, here in the second hour of the show here today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here on this Monday afternoon / Monday evening. I want to thank you guys for tuning in over on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Also, click the bell so you can get notified whenever we go live here, right here on Centex Primetime. You want to be able to jump into the live chat. You can watch on YouTube, Centex Sports TV. You can jump in the live chat. We saw Chris Laws earlier left a comment. It says it's easier to block a number that don't call you. And I know he's talking about the Kendrick Perkins thing with LeBron, talking about he blocks his number. That's the same thing I was thinking, Chris. Yeah, I blocked LeBron's number. Bro, when the last time you talked to LeBron on the phone? So what do you mean you blocked his number? But you can jump in the live chat on Facebook as well at Centex Sports TV, Centex Sports Network as well. Or you can go on the X, on Twitter. You can watch live there as we go live here 5 to 7 p.m. weekdays right here on Centex Sports Network. Go ahead, PJ.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to have to bring it back up, but I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed in Kendrick Perkins, man. I'm very disappointed in him, man. I didn't think that he would even stoop down to that level either, so I'm disappointed in him right now.
I don't know what dude was talking about, because then he was like, yeah, you could have went on one of your homeboys' podcasts and gave him some, but you ain't do that either. I'm like, bro, and Richard Jefferson even came out and said, why would he come on my podcast and say that? And when he's already been on my podcast 4 or 5 times. Like, one of the highest views episodes is when LeBron was on it after he won the championship. So he at the high time when everybody wanted to hear him say something, he did go on to that show and say something. So, like, if he's not mad about it, why are you mad about it? Like, I don't, and like I said earlier in hour number 1, when I'm in the middle of a beef or I'm trying to say something, this isn't the time for me to get back to the community. Now I got to do everything right. LeBron does one thing that y'all see is not right, even though I didn't think it was wrong. And now we got to talk about him because he's done nothing throughout his career. Even LeBron said that. I've done nothing. I've given y'all no clickbait over the years. The first thing that y'all ever felt like he did was wrong was him going to Miami. And so y'all tried to kill him for that. Michael Jordan can stay out drinking and gambling all night. Nobody says nothing. That's still the GOAT, though. Kobe Bryant went to court. Y'all, man, hey, LeBron too scary. He can, like, it's a weak argument, man. So let's stop that. Let's stop the nonsense. But yeah, I was feeling the same way, Chris. He said it's easy to block a number that don't call you. It is. LeBron didn't call you. You blocked his number, bro. He didn't know you had his number still. That might be the old number. He might change phone numbers every year. Like, you don't know who you block. You don't block Shonda now. That's Shonda's number. That ain't even LeBron no more. You don't block somebody random off your phone. So that don't even matter, bro. But yeah, shout out to them, man, in that whole situation. Folks, we're on here talking about the Final Four team to set here in college basketball. Just got done talking about that in the first hour. And we're going to talk a little bit about the women's side of the bracket, too. Got a couple quick takes, though, I want to be able to throw into there as well. And like I said, we already talked about the LeBron thing and his beef with Stephen A. Hope they all stop that and saying all this random stuff, even though most of the teammates are coming out to defend him, like Channing Frye and Richard Jefferson and all those guys have come out and said something to defend him or try to defend LeBron in this situation. And, you know, Perk, we were just talking about him, and he said how they should go on there. And then he was mad about the new show that, or not the new show, that the show that LeBron is continuing, the Mind the Game podcast, where they talk X's and O's. And Perkins was saying, oh, man, why didn't you pick Richard Jefferson or Channing Frye to come on that show? They know a lot about basketball. or Draymond Green. Bro, he got Steve Nash to do it. So if I can pick between Steve Nash and Richard Jefferson, you think I'm going to pick Richard Jefferson?
Come on, man.
I'm sure Richard Jefferson knows a lot about basketball. Steve Nash is one of the smartest people we've ever seen play basketball. Like,
he picking. He's just picking at this point, man.
Yeah, he is. Like I didn't get that when you could have got Draymond Green to come on. You think Draymond is better to have talking about X's and O's than Steve Nash? Then how bad would y'all kill LeBron if a guy that he could potentially play in the playoffs, he starts to show it?
Come on, bro.
Y'all would be ready to kill him. Oh, these guys are two buddies. They all besties. They don't want to sit out here and hoop, and they don't.
But they do be saying that.
Yeah, like that's exactly what they said. But now, he should have got Draymond Green to come on the show. Draymond Green is actually Draymond Green's podcast is on the podcast network that LeBron made.
That's stupid.
You just find random stuff to try to come out and like, come on, man, can y'all leave this guy alone? I know he doesn't give y'all much material to talk about, and so anything that he says, y'all have to talk about it for 2 weeks. But let's stop. Like you said, PJ, you just picking at this point. You just trying to find a reason to not like this guy or to be mad at this guy. That doesn't make any sense, man. So let's leave LeBron alone and let's let him go out here and hoop and actually try to do something in the playoffs at year 40. What was y'all goes doing at year 40? Smoking and drinking. Like, come on, man. That's what let this dude still go out there and hoop and play the game the right way.
They don't even want to talk about when Jordan was 40.
Yeah, bro, they don't ever want to talk about that.
They don't never want to talk about that. They don't never want to talk about that.
They was on the Wizards. Stephen A. His reception to Stephen A. has already come out and said that he only did that because he was trying to own a team, and that's the only reason. So that shouldn't count against him. Okay, bro, y'all got some. What? Y'all got so many excuses for this dude, man. Like I've never seen this many amount of excuses for any player. LeBron just came on Pat McAfee's and said, yeah, that 2011 against against the Dallas Mavericks, that was on me. We lost, and it's my fault. He can own up and say that. But y'all got to come out and apologize. Nah, Michael Jordan was only sorry because he wanted to be an owner, so he wasn't really focused on basketball. Like, bro, come on, man.
Bro, they go crazy whenever it comes to Jordan, man. This is crazy. That's insane, bro. That's insane.
They find a way every time to try to make up something, and
they even talk about whenever we won the championship, the Rockets. They only won that because Jordan wasn't in the league.
Man, Jordan didn't want to play them Rockets, bro. I see.
They didn't want to play us.
They don't. The proof is in the pudding, man. We can't make them go back and play each other. But when they were matching up in the regular season, the Rockets were spanking them boys, man. Like, come on, dog. Who was going to all that stuff worked? Bill Cartwright and all that was going to work until you seen somebody like Hakeem. And they got past Patrick Ewing. Boy, if you put Patrick Ewing and Hakeem in the same sentence, something's wrong with you.
Jordan even said they had no answers for Olajuwon. He even said that.
None. Because he's the best defender on the court, and he's going to be the second best scorer on the court if Michael Jordan's out there. But he's going to be the best defender on the court. Hakeem is a guy, they don't even got to get me started on my Hakeem soapbox. Because I put Hakeem top 5. I don't care what y'all talking about.
Definitely.
What this dude did on both sides of the ball, one of the only people to get a quadruple double with 18 points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. Come on, man. What this guy was doing, and one of the only stars in the NBA ever to win a championship without another Hall of Famer on their team. That's Hakeem that did that. I don't think anybody else has ever done that. The only other person that's going to have a chance to do it is Nikola Jokic when they won a couple of years ago. Yeah. But outside of that, but that's just hoping that Jamal Murray don't become Hall of Famer. We don't know. But the only person that has done it so far is Hakeem Olajuwon. Y'all wasn't going to be able to go.
They're not ready. They're not ready for that combo.
No, they don't. Man, they don't want to hear that. I'm a Rockets fan, so obviously I'm going to defend them. But it was just the proof is in the pudding. They like I said, they were spanking them boys in the '90s every time they lined up. It was easy work every time they line up. And y'all, that's the regular season. Okay, cool. But I'm just saying we can't make them play. So what we can go off is the games that they did play. Y'all was gonna have to try to help with Hakeem And Vernon Maxwell and Kenny Smith is going to be shooting your eyes out. And Robert Ory was going to be shooting
We
your
already
eyes
won
out.
We already won our chips.
Yeah.
We already won our championships. So, like, it's nothing to even.
Nothing to talk about.
I hate when they even. There's nothing to talk about.
They got the rings. So, I mean, it is what it is. They already won 2 of them back to back, man. But getting back over to some of these quick takes while we're sitting here, hour number 2 of the show here today. We already talked about the fight. If y'all tuning in to see if we're going to talk about the fight, we already talked about the fight. Them boys, they went out there and they boxed each other, Timberwolves and the Pistons. I hope they don't. Yeah, a little scuffle. Wasn't nothing crazy. Like I said, the people on ESPN talking about, or some people saying the Malice in the Palace Part 2. That's wild. I need y'all to go back and look. Steven Jackson and Ron Artest was putting hands on people and feet. Hands and feet on people. On fans. They were putting hands and feet on people, bro. So, like, that is a whole different shebang than some guys running around tussling. This was a tussle. It's not really considered a fight because no one threw a punch. This was a tussle. A lot of grabbing, a lot of pushing and shoving, and a lot of guys being scary and not even want to get in the paint. Rudy Gobert, Malik Beasley. I seen y'all on the outside. Y'all think nobody gonna talk about it. We seen y'all already. We seen y'all go out there and not even try to attempt to square up with nobody. Y'all didn't even look at nobody tough. And like y'all just kind of walked around like, oh man, I'm not gonna get into the middle of that. Like, come on, dog. You gotta do better than that. But to go over to some quick takes. Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, says we took a big swing and we missed badly when talking about how they got Deshaun Watson. He said we took a big swing and we missed whenever we signed Deshaun Watson. We thought we hacked and we didn't. Well, Jimmy, the thing about the Cleveland Browns is you keep taking swings and you keep missing. But this was one of your biggest swings, and it also happened to be one of your biggest misses. You gave the dude $230 million guaranteed because he wanted to go to Atlanta because he's from Atlanta. And y'all had to come in at the last minute and offer the most guaranteed money ever in order for him to stay or to decide to go to Cleveland because he had a no-trade clause. So we decided to go to Cleveland. Y'all took a chance on Freaky D. It didn't work out, man. And that's just what it is. And you honestly put your franchise back because y'all had the Kansas City Chiefs who ended up winning the AFC that year. Y'all had them on the ropes, up by 10, I believe, in that game when y'all had Baker Mayfield. And you blew that whole team up and blew up your chances of winning to go down and get Freaky D. It didn't work. It is what it is. You took a big swing and you missed. You move on and figure out how to keep Myles Garrett on the team. I just signed him to a contract. Figure out how to keep him because I don't think that he's going to stay in Cleveland. I think he just said, okay, yeah, I'm cool. I'll stay. Sign the contract. And after y'all go 3-14 this year, he's going to come right back out and say, yeah, let me go ahead and get the trade, and I'm for real this time. Because now he got the contract. So ain't nothing y'all can do to incentivize him. So y'all need to figure out how to do that and stop being sorry instead of worrying about the big swings that you took and missed with Deshaun Watson. But I thought that was kind of funny with Jimmy Haslam. What do you think about Jimmy Haslam unprovoked coming out and saying this?
Yeah, I've been waiting to talk about this, man. You never want to hear a GM, owner, anything of any team that you like say that. That was crazy to say, but at the same time, I gotta commend him because he was being honest. And to be frank, I don't really think that anyone expected for Deshaun Watson by this time to have only been available for 19 games. And for them 19 games that he has played for them, he's looked horrible.
Terrible.
And and with the Browns, man, because of where their organization is, and definitely when it pertains to quarterback play, they haven't had a good quarterback since Bernie Kosar.
That's wild.
A consistently good quarterback since Bernie Kosar, literally. So,
and how many quarterbacks have they taken since Bernie Kosar? That's what makes it so bad. I've taken 20-something quarterbacks since then.
Yeah. So, any organization that's in the predicament that they've been in, you're going to be desperate. You're going to go out there and you're going to pay that much money for a guy like Deshaun. My thing was that, and everyone's problem is how much money that y'all gave him. Y'all gave him $230 million guaranteed.
Crazy.
That is crazy. You set your organization back. Ain't no telling how many years back you done set your organization, giving him that much money. And now you got a guy who's just on the team and he's pretty much robbing you guys. he's not playing. So I gotta commend them on the honesty, you know. But yeah, that was very stupid. And they're paying for it right now. You know, they're paying for it. My thing was, if y'all were gonna, he hadn't played in a year,
and he's not gonna play
he
next
hadn't
year.
played football. Yeah, he hadn't played in a year when y'all got him, and he's not playing now. He's not playing next year. So it's stupid. It was just dumb. I wish that there was some way that they can get out of this, but unfortunately they can't. They got to just ride this out, and you know, just hope that it's gonna be some light on the other side for them. But I mean, you might lose some guys now who are key players on your team because of that, and so. Well, you know, it's all bad, man. That's why I say you really never want to hear your GM or owner, anyone say anything like that. Definitely when it comes to decision making, as far as for the team, because this is horrible. You know, I don't think, me personally, I'm not even a Browns fan, but I would never get over the fact that they paid him $230 million guaranteed after he hadn't played for a year.
Doesn't make sense.
And now it doesn't make sense. And now he's just robbing you guys. He's not even playing. He's only played 19 games.
I mean, broad daylight robbery with no gun. That's what's happening in Cleveland every single day. Because y'all, not only did you give him 230 guaranteed, you gave 3 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and 2 fourth-round picks, which I'm not mad at all because we turned my Houston Texans, we turned those picks into C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. So I appreciate it.
Most definitely.
But I mean, that was just dumb. I mean, just straight up, that was dumb. Y'all struck out. Y'all gave somebody the biggest guaranteed contract in history. Y'all struck out with so many quarterbacks. You took Brady Quinn over Aaron Rodgers. Y'all the same organization that took Johnny Manziel and thought he was going to work in the NFL. Y'all the same organization that gave 45-year-old Brandon Whedon and you drafted him out of Oklahoma State. Like, y'all tried so many things and it hasn't worked. Like, y'all got Terrell Pryor out of Ohio State. It's just a long laundry list, and that's why you're the Cleveland Browns. This just happens to be, honestly, the worst one, and that's crazy to say when y'all are one of the worst quarterback picking franchises in NFL history, and y'all and it still somehow didn't work out for y'all. And this is why I'm hoping that Cleveland Browns do not take Shedeur. The Russell Wilson signing changes probably how the Giants are going to approach this draft. I don't think they go with a young quarterback. I don't think they wanted to go with a young quarterback. I think Brian Daboll and Joe Shane are scared for their lives, for their jobs right now, as they should be, because they shouldn't have their job. Now, let me take that back. I'm not going to say that. They could have their job. I'm not going to say somebody shouldn't have their job. They're just not good at them. Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, mainly Joe Shane, y'all are just not good at it. But they're probably not taking a quarterback. I don't know, does that lean Cleveland more to taking a quarterback in the draft? I'm really, really, really hoping not. Because so far, Cleveland is where quarterbacks' careers go to die. So I don't want Shedeur to be next on that list of getting picked by Cleveland and have Cleveland. But to have to then play for one of the worst organizations as well, I don't want that for Shedeur, man. I'm a Shedeur fan and I'm rooting for him, and I hope he gets to a good organization, a good situation. Because a lot of the time, especially in the NFL, how good you are, some of the times don't even matter. It's the situation you're in. You get put into a bad situation, a la Teddy Bridgewater or Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. You get put in bad situations, of course you're going to look sorry. And you go to a good situation, I'm like, man, this guy can actually kind of play. Well, he could play the whole time. He was just on a terrible situation, especially when you're playing quarterback. That's how we see people like Sam Darnold be considered terrible until he wasn't. And then we see guys like Brock Purdy be considered good because he's on a great situation. When in actuality, he's just mid. But people will start comparing him and saying, oh, he's a top-tier quarterback, and he's actually just getting coached by Kyle Shanahan, and they got a great offensive line and running back and receivers and defense and all this kind of stuff. So the situation really matters. That's why I'm hoping that Shedeur doesn't go to Cleveland with that number 2 pick. I really don't want Travis to go there, but, I mean, if Travis goes there, that is what it is because he's playing on the defense of the side of the ball and maybe a little bit at receiver, whichever one they want to take him at. It's not going to matter as much, but quarterback, well, that matters a lot. You go to the wrong situation, it's career suicide, unfortunately. That's what I'm hoping to happen with Cam or Shedeur. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to understand how you can be bad at picking quarterbacks for this long.
I mean, it's a really bad list of quarterbacks and a lot of misses. Talking about we took a big swing and a miss. The problem is you struck out like 40 times. That's
I've
the
been
problem.
missing for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But, Deshaun just the latest on their list of bad quarterbacks that they picked. And like I said, hopefully, we don't know. This doesn't happen to Shador next and him going out there. He could be the one to change the franchise around. Or he could just be like the other 40 quarterbacks they picked right before him. Hopefully he doesn't end up just going there because that's at least my hope. Last week, Russell Westbrook moved up to top 20 all-time in scoring on the all-time scoring list, moves to 20th on the scoring list, I believe, passing Kevin Garnett on the scoring list. Russell Westbrook, man, people love him, people hate him. He's still one of the best point guards to ever play basketball in the NBA. He's one of the best players to ever play basketball in the NBA. Everybody said he was stat merchant and all this stuff and stat padding when he's getting triple doubles, but now we don't see nobody doing it. Now when Jokic is doing the triple double, man, this guy's just an amazing player. How can he do something like this? I don't know how that coverage happens. How we're looking at Jokic and saying this is one of the best, which it is. This is one of the best seasons I've seen somebody have. It also was when Russell Westbrook was doing it. I don't know why Russell Westbrook is so hated, one of the most hated players in the league, and it's really just him being himself. He's being himself. He says what he wants to say. He does what he wants to do, and y'all don't make him upset, and he doesn't cry when he comes on press conferences after they lose and stuff. He says, I don't care. I play my hardest every night. I'm a millionaire, and my family's good. What else am I going to care about? Y'all want me to sit up here and cry and be sad and say, I'm so mad we'll never win the championship, and that's why some people don't like him. Some people just like to hate on him because they like to hate on him. Doesn't make any sense. Russell Westbrook's one of the best players to ever pick up a basketball. That's why he's 20th on the scoring list. What you think about him moving up to 20th on the scoring list all time?
I've been on record on here plenty of times saying I'm a huge fan of Russell Westbrook, and I tolerate zero disrespect when it comes to Russell Westbrook. Like zero disrespect. This guy has done nothing to anybody for him to get the hate that he gets consistently, though.
Doesn't get in trouble. Nothing.
He don't get in trouble or nothing. I really don't understand why people hate on this guy so much. In our generation, this dude, for sure, top 3 point guard.
Definitely. I mean, anywhere you put
3.
Russell Westbrook, you can have an argument for it. Anywhere that you put him at the point guard position.
He's one of the most explosive point guards we've ever seen. Ever.
Yep.
Besides maybe D Rose.
I mean, and that's a toss up.
That's a toss up because they both, to me, when it comes to explosiveness, it was very, it was equal. D Rose before the injury.
Mm-hmm.
So Russell Westbrook, man, it's Mr. Triple Double. He's Mr. Triple Double. He's done something that no one has done.
Nobody.
He did it consistently. So, man, I'm happy for Russell Westbrook. I hope he keeps on climbing up that record for sure. If he got a little bit left in him, but yeah, he's always been one of my favorite players. He's a player I've respected a lot. To me, he's a great player. I know people always say, "Oh, well, he takes too many shots, and he's the reason why the Thunder didn't win championships," and that's just cap. That's cap. If you go, I was a Thunder fan back then. That's cap. He's never, to me, it was times that he took too many shots, but I never really seen it or just thought that he was the reason why they didn't win. It was a lot of times that they didn't win just because, the team that they was probably playing up against just played a better game than they did. But he's always left it all on the court. You never can say that he's went out there and didn't give his heart out into the game. He gives his heart out every time he touches the court.
Every time.
So I really just don't tolerate any disrespect when it comes to him because he hasn't done anything. He's very similar to what we say about LeBron. He hasn't done anything in his career outside of basketball or even on the court for people to, really just hate the guy that much. So I don't understand how people just talk down on him and, just hate on him like they do because this guy, man, he's one of the most, I would say out of anybody
this dude in our generation, I don't think no one loves the game more than Russell Westbrook does.
I don't see how you could say that they do. I mean, every single time he steps on the floor, he's going 100%, whether he's coming off the bench, whether he's starting. And like you said, this dude has done nothing on or off the court to get the amount of hate that he receives. He just doesn't fit into everybody's mold of what they want to see and what they want to hear when somebody talks. But it's his life. He's the millionaire. Why are we sitting up telling him? Like, I mean, I don't get it. Like J. Cole said in the song, if you broke and clowning the millionaire, the joke is on you. Like, what are we talking about? Look, man, he wouldn't do something. Russell Westbrook and his stats are unmatched. First off, people go ahead.
If people don't like how he answers questions and stuff, that's weak. I don't like, who cares?
Yeah,
if somebody's interviewing you after the game and they ask you a stupid question, if you ask someone a stupid question, it's not up to you how they react to the stupid question that you just asked them.
It's not.
It's not up to you. You can't judge. You just ask a dumb question.
He didn't like it.
Even if you didn't ask a dumb question, he didn't like it, so he reacted the way he did. It's not like he's out here cussing these guys out and anything like that. So I don't. That's stupid to me, man. Like, to me, it's not a good enough reason. It's not a good enough reason
for all the hate that this man receives. They blame everything on him, like you said. Everyone tried to blame the OKC thing leaving on him. How you blaming him for just coming up and showing up and going to work and playing at an extremely high level every day? They gave up a 3-1 lead to the Warriors, and KD went and joined them. But it's Russell Westbrook's fault he left. He joined the team that beat him.
He became Mr. Triple-Double after KD left.
You leave, everybody said it was his fault, and he was always a second-tier guy. He was the second fiddle behind him. Okay, Kevin Durant leaves. He averages 31, 10, and 10. This is one of the best basketball players we've ever seen. He goes on to then average a triple-double multiple times. Multiple times. Matter of fact, he did it for 3 years in a row.
That's insane.
And then did it a fourth time when he went to Washington. And Washington was terrible. Everybody was saying, oh, man, he was out there in Washington. Okay, they were trash before he got there. He gets there. He gets them to the playoffs, leaves the next year. Washington ain't even looked close to a playoff spot since then.
Yeah, not even close.
Not even a little bit close. So, come on, man. Russ gets so much undeserved hate, I feel like, and I'm glad that he's moving up in these ranks. One of the best players to ever play the game of basketball. I was watching Kenyon Martin and a couple other dudes. I think they asked him on their show, who do you, as a shot blocker, who do you fear more coming down the lane? And he said Russell Westbrook, because he's jumping off of 1 foot and he's coming at you full speed. Derrick Rose will dunk on you, but he's not coming at you full speed, and he's a 2-foot jumper. I seen some people saying the question was Russell Westbrook, Ja Morant, or Derrick Rose. Kenyon Martin said it's easily Russell Westbrook. The other two guys jump off 2 feet. So now as you're jumping off 2 feet, I get a chance to also jump with you. Somebody jumping off one leg, running full speed, you don't get no chance to jump and try to time. You just get dunked on. Now, you don't get no chance to try to. One of the fastest players ever.
Yeah,
extremely fast, and he's trying to dunk on you, and he's mean with it. Like, he's trying to dunk on you. Like, he might say it as he's coming down the court. Like, he's looking at you dead in the eyes, trying to come and dunk on you. So, Russell Westbrook, man, you're never going to tolerate no Russell Westbrook hate on this show, man. One of the best players to ever play in the NBA. And the stats prove it. However y'all feel about him and say he was stat padding and stuff, keep the same energy for Jokic this year for the stat padding. Because it feels so easy to stat pad. You think nobody else in the NBA has ever stat padded? Probably 99% of the people in the NBA are stat pad. Because that's how you get paid. It's stats. They don't go off of he's a great guy, so we're going to give him $150 million. No, they go off of how many points you get, how many rebounds you get, how many turnovers you get, how many steals you get. So that was always a dumb argument to me with the stat padding thing, man. I didn't ever like that. But shout out Russ, man. I hope and he's thriving right now in the Nuggets. Honestly, got them back to hooping and playing great basketball as well. So he's been playing great since he's been on this Nuggets team. Linking up with Jokic, another triple-double guy, so that kind of made it funny. Kim Mulkey had a kind of a funny response to a reporter after the game against they lost against UCLA, second year losing in the Elite Eight. Last year they lost. I think the South Carolina is who they lost to last year in the Elite Eight. This year they lose to UCLA, who's also another really great team. And the reporter, once again, PJ, you just talking about asking a dumb question, so you're gonna get a dumb response. The reporter, you lose the second straight year in the NCAA in the Elite Eight, and she says, "Oh, what a terrible thing." And he's kind of like laughing, like, "Yeah, I guess." And she was like, "So is that a terrible thing?" He says, "Yes." Clearly, she was trying to be funny and wanted you to say no. But since you gave a dumb response and said, "Yeah, it is a terrible thing," she says, "Okay, how many Final Fours you been to?" And then he says, "Well, none." Well, okay then. Let's leave it at that. Here, I'm gonna play a clip real quick of what Kim Mulkey said to the reporter. That I guess the back and forth between the reporter.
You guys get eliminated in the Elite Eight. Yeah. Terrible.
How many Final Fours you play in?
None.
So it's probably pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
The second straight year.
So, Kim Mulkey. First of all, if you're a reporter, you know Kim Mulkey always gonna have something to say. Why is you even gonna go at it like that? Kim Mulkey don't care. First of all, when you get to the age of some of these coaches, they're not gonna care what they say, bro. Kim Mulkey's going to be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. She got 2 chips with Baylor, and then backdoor got a chip in her first year at LSU. She's goated already, especially in this Waco community. I ain't gonna tolerate no Kim Mulkey disrespect. Now she says some crazy stuff or whatever, and if you want to get on her for saying some crazy stuff sometime, cool. But I'm not gonna let you just talk about it. And like you just said, if you give a stupid question, you're gonna get a stupid response. Like, yeah, I guess it was terrible. Well, how many Final Fours have you played in then, bro? Since it's a terrible thing to lose in the Elite Eight, because she's been to multiple. She's won 3, and she won as a player at Louisiana Tech. I didn't think Louisiana Tech was ever good at basketball, and she won as a player at Louisiana Tech too. So her resume is goated. Not much you could be able to say about that. What do you think about Kim Mulkey's response to the reporter over the weekend after they lost?
Yeah, it's like I said, man, if you asking dumb questions, you're going to get a dumb response. And it's not on you to judge how somebody's supposed to respond to you if you're asking or saying dumb remarks like what he said. I don't understand how you can say that that's terrible. And I'm, LSU, that's one of my schools, one of my teams. And I was very upset that we lost yesterday against UCLA. But UCLA is a top program just like LSU is. And just because somebody doesn't meet the expectations that was put on to them doesn't mean that that's a terrible season. Is it disappointing? Yes. But it's not terrible. Terrible is if this LSU team didn't make the tournament, which they did. And then they made the 8.
So they lost to UCLA. Terrible. That's one of the best teams. UCLA might win it all.
They might win it all. So they lost to one of the best teams and played a pretty good game.
Yep.
I feel like the referees, kind of some of the whistles was going UCLA way a little more, but they still played a fair game and just happened to be the better team yesterday. But that's not terrible. Terrible is if this team didn't make the 8, or not even make the Elite 8, didn't make the tournament. They still made the tournament and still made the Elite 8 and still was one of the better teams in the tournament. They just went up against a team that was better than them and played them very well. So these reporters got to start checking themselves before y'all just kind of just start, saying remarks like that. Like, that's crazy. She even gave him a chance to kind of check it.
Yeah, she was being sarcastic, but you took the bait and was like, yeah, I guess it is terrible. She was being sarcastic, but since you're going to say something dumb, here's a dumb answer for you.
Dumb answer for you. Like, come on, man. That's crazy to say. So, and, like you said, man, we respect Kim Mulkey over here, man. She's done a lot of great things in the city of Waco when she was at Baylor.
Sure.
And she's well respected. And like you said, this is not only a coach that has won national championships as a coach. She won as a player in 1983 with Louisiana Tech.
Man, a long time ago. I don't know when it was. And
I think
the game was in black and white or something. I don't remember when it was, but it was. Yeah, she won as a player too with Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, she won as a player. So yeah, she's when it comes to just women's basketball, period, this is somebody who is, she's like the Coach K when it comes to, she's like a Coach K when it comes to just women's basketball. And then even if it's just not women's basketball, just basketball, period, this is somebody who's well respected in both women's and men's.
And I feel like I don't care what she would have said to the guy yesterday. I still would have been on Kim Mulkey's side because to me it was just it was crazy to say that it was terrible whenever they just lost in the Elite Eight against a UCLA squad that could possibly win it all. I really can't believe he said terrible.
Yeah, man,
and didn't catch on that she was trying to give you a chance to fix it, and you didn't fix it. So to me, I feel like that he got out of place and she just put him back in place.
Yeah, that's all it was, man. Some people try to make it more than what it was. She was being sarcastic. He didn't catch on, so she said something smart to him. That's it. I see some people, Kim Mulkey's back at it saying all this. Hey, man, it's not too many coaches, like you just said, PJ. She's one of the best coaches in basketball. How many coaches, in men or women, just have multiple national championships, especially on the women's side? Don Staley at South Carolina, Coach Gino at UConn. It's not many coaches that just have multiple national championships on their resume. She's got multiple. And they just won like 2 or 3 years ago. So she's one of the GOATs. She gets to say what she wants to say, man. Next time, just catch on. Read the room. Catch on to what she's trying to say, bro. She wasn't trying to bash the dude or nothing crazy, whatever some people have been coming out here and saying, man. She was and then they just lost. I don't get why people get shocked when somebody says something, I guess, that they don't like as much after you lost. If you ever competed in anything, you might say something crazy after you just lost, especially competing at the level they competing at. So yeah, man, shout out to Kim Mulkey. No Kim Mulkey hate on this show whatsoever. One of the GOATs, and she's done a lot for this Waco community, like you said. PJ, the Houston Rockets blow out the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 148-109. Now there's two parts to this. One of it is y'all got to start putting some respect on my Rockets, man. Y'all got to start putting some respect on these boys. These boys are ready to win, and I still say it. Outside of LA and maybe Denver, it's nobody else that the Rockets should just fear like that, and they shouldn't fear them. They can beat anybody, but if you're just talking about the bad matchups for them, okay, Denver's a bad matchup, LA's a bad matchup, maybe OKC, but they're both young, so you don't know what's going to happen. But the Rockets have won 12 out of the last 13 games. They're starting to peak at the absolute right time. They're 49-26 on the year. They've won 3 in a row. They lost to the Nuggets, but before that, they won like 9 in a row. So they've been playing great. Jalen Green has been playing great. I seen a video of Bubba Dove on Instagram or one of them talking about why Jalen Green's playing so good. And they had to show the video of Dre and Michelle in there cooking yams and some other turkey necks and stuff. He said, hey, see these young girls, everybody was roasting them because he got with one of the older girls, but them young ones, they making the noodles, they making the rotel dip it. Nah, he getting the meals that came out the 80s. See, this is different. Yeah. He playing at a whole nother level right now.
He got him a cougar.
Yeah, the meals he making is the meals y'all mamas used to make. That's what she's making, not the ones that's now. So that's why he's playing so good. But now, shout out to the Rockets, man. They've been playing phenomenal basketball. The other side of that is the Phoenix Suns. At this point, this is just pathetic. This is pathetic. This is a team that was supposed to be one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Not only are they horrible this year, not only have they been a complete bust as far as getting Bradley Beal and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant all playing on the same team, but then the Dallas Mavericks get hurt, and you still can't beat them out for the 10th spot in the West. It was 78-49 at halftime yesterday. Now, I'm a person, I watch every Rockets game. Like almost a Super Bowl could be on. If the Final Four was going and the Rockets are playing, I'm still going to have my phone out watching the Rockets. Like, I'm still going to find some kind of way to watch the Rockets game. I cut this game off yesterday. Because it's pathetic. 78-49 at halftime. What are y'all doing, bro? What are y'all doing? I don't get it. What's going on with the Phoenix Suns? Ever since they tried to trade Kevin Durant for no reason, it's just gotten even worse. And then to make it even worse than that, KD got hurt yesterday. They said he might be out a week. Bro, there's only like 2 weeks left in the season. Don't come back, Kevin Durant. Do not play another game for the Phoenix Suns. They don't care about you. You're their best player. It's not working out. Unfortunately, it's just another stain on Kevin Durant's career. This is going to be like the third quote-unquote super team that he's been a part of that's not going to work. So, unfortunately, it's another stain on his career. But, KD, don't come back, bro. Don't come back to this because this is just nonsense. 78 to 49 at halftime is crazy. How do you let a team put up 80 points in one half and then you only put up 50 just to continue to get blown out the rest of the game? 148 to 109 is crazy. How did you get 40-pieced, bro, at home?
Dude was trash.
Like this is just sad. What do you think about the Suns and the Rockets yesterday and just how both of their seasons have gone to this point?
You know, we Rockets over here, so I've been saying all season we the truth. I feel like they were still slept on. I feel like that it's going to take for us to demolish somebody in the first round, similar to the Timberwolves last year whenever they beat the Suns in the first round, for us to get took serious.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's going to take that, but it wouldn't be smart for anybody to continue to sleep on us. Amen Thompson is that guy.
Telling you.
I can't stress that enough, bro. He's that guy, bro. Love the kid's game. Jalen Green, he's over there getting that cougar loving. So he out here playing
the yams, he getting the yam, mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
it's a whole different thing.
Different. Yeah, it hit different. You know, now he's a player of the week because he getting cougar loving. Like, we doing good. Like the Rockets, we one of them teams, man. People got to watch out for us, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're not playing no games with anybody. We can beat anybody. Anybody. I'm not scared of nobody. I feel like that we're one of them teams right now. We on our winning streak, and, you know, like I said, man, we got a lot of young guys, but we also got older guys on the team that's able to lead these younger guys. You know what I mean? So it just shows every time we're on the court. And like I said, I'm excited for the Rockets. You know, I don't really have too much to say about them that I haven't already said. As far as for the Suns, I have nothing good to say about them.
No.
Their organization is stupid. They're very similar to the Browns in the fact that y'all went and spent all this money on players, gave up so many picks in the draft, and now y'all are in a hole. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand with these organizations. You know, we've talked about them on here before. It's just retarded. If y'all go back and look at the Suns and just see what they did, bro, it's so stupid. Y'all thought getting Bradley Beal last year was going to make a difference. It doesn't. If I'm KD, like you said, I wouldn't even come back. Y'all don't want me.
Getting traded in the offseason regardless. So what does it need to come back for the last 6 or 7 games for?
For what? Y'all don't want me. It's crazy with the Suns, man. And with KD, is like you said, it's another stain on his career, and I hate it because he's one of the greatest.
One of the best.
Just all around, pure offense, like offense. I'm not gonna speak on defense, but just offensively. One of the greatest scorers we've ever seen.
Ever.
But the guy he doesn't, it's almost like he doesn't mesh well, bro, unless I don't know what it is, man, besides the Warrior squad, which they don't really count because they were already winners before he got there.
And how are they going to lose? Like with that team? Like,
how are they going to lose? Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, there was no way they was going to lose in that situation. But outside of that situation, with any other team, he just doesn't mesh well, and it never works out. And it doesn't matter who they go and get. You can go get out. We seen with the Nets when they went and they had him, they had Kyrie. They even went and got I think they got who else they got, man? They had that squad was loaded.
Yeah.
That squad was loaded. I think who else loaded, yeah. Like they had plenty of guys on that team. Blake Griffin,
talking about with the Nets.
Man, that's it. Yeah, with the Nets, yeah.
Yeah, I mean you got Kyrie, KD, James Harden, had Blake Griffin there at one point. LaMarcus Aldridge came at one point. Like they were just throwing stars on the team. And it didn't work out.
It just didn't work.
Similar to this one, like you said, man, it was just bad front office on them. And shout out to James Jones, man. I like James Jones, and I like the fact that he's a GM. It just hasn't worked. And also shout out to Chris Paul, because this is another check mark on his career. Because y'all traded him like he was the reason y'all lost in the finals, and y'all have done nothing but get worse, significantly worse, every single year since y'all got rid of Chris Paul. So I mean, hey,
and if you
go ahead.
If you Devin Booker, like, why would you even want to continue to be with the Suns at this point?
Oh, no, you got to leave. Once they trade KD, because they're going to trade KD, he needs to be the next guy asking for a trade, man. He's giving y'all everything he can give to this organization. It just doesn't work.
I'll be asking for it right now.
Yeah, he might be
right now.
behind closed doors. He might be. We never know. He might be already asking for a trade right now. But
this team is going downhill. I see nothing. I see nothing that's going to help them come to where they once were, bro. I really don't. Once you lose KD,
it's over.
They're going to have to tank.
Yeah,
I mean, really, they're not going to. They don't even have to tank because they suck.
Yeah, I mean, they almost tanking right now with 3 stars. Guys making $50+ million a year, they already tanking, and that's you put together a team of guys that don't even go together. Like that's your main problem. You thought the star power was going to work and just override everything, and it didn't work. I seen Shannon Sharp earlier talking about it. He said it's like getting pork chops and chocolate cake and something else. Those are all good by themselves, but together that's not good. Nobody wants to eat that all at the same time. Like that's what y'all did with this. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, they all good, but just don't even mix well as a team. And it don't take a basketball expert to get that. Like you went and got a bunch of guys to do the same thing, score the ball. There's only one ball out there. You didn't get enough facilitators. You didn't get enough defenders. Like it was just a bad and poorly built team, man. So the Suns, this is probably the last time we're going to see the Suns even really getting talked about because Kevin Durant in the summer is gone for sure. Not going to be surprised if Devin Booker asks for a trade. Only one they might still have is Bradley Beal. He's weird because how does a team try to trade you every week and you just keep saying no? So you weird, bro. I thought by now you would have just said, just send me somewhere else if y'all want me. Now he said, cool, I'll hold all the cards because I got the no trade clause. Okay, well, you ruined this team. And the team is sorry. So maybe you'll be the only one left on the Suns, and then it can be back to being your team after that. But the Suns, they're done. The Rockets, y'all need to get out the way, man, because the Rockets are coming. They got some dogs on the squad. Oh, definitely. I mean, it is at the right time, at the perfect time, because they're getting right into the playoffs. Folks, we only got a few minutes here left on the show. I want to talk about something we barely talk about here on the show, and that's bats that somebody from MIT, a scientist, came up with because he said, hey, what's a better way that we can build the bat to be able to get, a better production from hitting the ball? Apparently it's working because the whole Yankees team got it. And they've hit 15 home runs in 3 games. And you're already seeing people, I think somebody from the Brewers came out and was like, I don't know if this is something that should be banned from the league or not, but it's the Yankees, so it ain't going to get banned from the league because they want the Yankees to be good. Bro, how about you just not let somebody hit 15 home runs in 3 games? Bro, nobody watches baseball. This might help people watch baseball.
Yeah.
I've watched like 8 baseball games from start to finish in my life, and I'm a sports fan.
Life.
So, and that's on TV. I'll watch a game. Going to the game is fun. I'll watch a game, going to the game all the time. But the game is already y'all lost a lot of fans because the game wasn't exciting. Now the game is getting exciting because dudes are hitting home runs, and now you can play. Oh man, they probably cheating because it's the Yankees. Or they got all the best play. They were just in the World Series last year, first off, bro. Like you acting like the Yankees are just trash. They was in the World Series. And then they got some of the best home run hitters in the league. Do the torpedo bat things help? Probably. But you said it like it's cheating. All they did was come up with a bat that makes it easier to hit. Is it cheating that Nike put out some good shoes and it's easy to play basketball in Nikes? Is that cheating?
He bogus. He's bogus, bro.
He's super bogus for even saying that.
You know why he bogus? He the type of person that if, let's say you are doing something illegal, he the one that'll get the feds put on you because he's hating. You know what I mean? So shout out to the scientists, but dude about to get the whole entire Yankees team drug tested.
Indicted. All them boys when they get and they probably was already coming. You got 15 home runs in 3 games. All y'all had a cup when y'all came in the locker room the next day. Everybody. Hey, just go ahead and pass this out.
You draw snitching.
Yeah, you draw snitching. That is true, man. That for no reason though.
He bogus.
Because you mad that y'all lost.
Yeah. Tell your pitcher to pitch better.
I think that's
it's crazy. You need to pitch better.
Yeah, I don't get that, bro. Like if they're saying this might be something that they need to look at. Like what you mean this might need, like you said, you just dry snitching. That's a dude that, man, he don't even got no job. I don't know how he got 5 cars. You don't even work for real.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Shout out to the Yankees, man, for using it. Shout out to the dude that made these torpedo bats and drop some off in Houston and drop them off to the Astros, even though we 2-1 right now. The season, baseball got 3,000 games in it, so I don't know how long they're going to stay with a winning record. But they 2-1 right now. So shout out to the Astros. Even though we lost Alex Bregman, he went off to the Red Sox. I know who we ain't using, and that's Altuve. If everybody else done changed teams, we ain't Jose Altuve going to play on the Astros for his entire career, start to finish. But, yeah, man, shout out to the torpedo bats guy and all this, and they're saying, oh, this could be a thing. I don't know what's going on. The MIT professor, the one that came up with it, bro. Maybe it's just it's not, like nothing's cheating about it. He just found a way to make a better bat. Like, what's wrong about that? So, shout out to y'all, man. But I'm trying to talk about more baseball, y'all. We're getting into the summer. I'm gonna talk about some more baseball topics. I just got to find something to talk about because, yeah, we'll burn that bridge when we get there. Right now, still got basketball going on. The women's Elite Eight is wrapping up right now as TCU is taking on Texas right now. Madison Booker versus Haley Van Lith. It's halftime, 23-21 right now. Texas has the lead. Haley Van Lith, I didn't think they were going to get here, man. I've been a fan of Notre Dame all year long, and they had to come back and play a great game against Notre Dame to even get to this point. And a lot of that was because of Haley Van Lith, man. So shout out to her. Everybody tried to blame LSU on them losing last year on her for some reason, which didn't make any sense to me. Y'all just ran into South Carolina. Like Haley Van Lith can hoop. She went back to TCU and has revived that program, and they got a chance to get into the Elite Eight, taking on one of the best players in the nation in Madison Booker, who's a dog for Texas. Right now, they're in the middle of a close game, so when we get off of here, that's definitely what I'll be watching. But PJ, looking at this women's side of it, we already talked about UCLA getting to the Final Four. They beat LSU yesterday. South Carolina also had a battle, really, really good game against Duke yesterday afternoon and battled to get back to it. I think South Carolina is the favorite. Obviously, they're the reigning national champs. But the team that could take them out is the game that I'm mad that I knew this is the first game I thought about when Juju Watkins went down with her injury last week. And as we get USC versus UConn tonight, I thought we were going to see Juju versus Paige Buckets part 2 because they played early in the season, and that game was electric. Juju was picking up full court. She's guarding Paige. Becker's on the other side and getting buckets on her on the other side. So I thought that was a great game, and Paige was coming right back at her too. So those two of my favorite players in the NCAA. With UConn is a 14.5-point favorite against USC with no Juju tonight, which is crazy. But I get why. Paige Beckers is just coming off of dropping 40 on Oklahoma. 40 ball. Like, come on, man. So this is why they're considered one of the best teams. And they're my sleeper team that can give somebody an upset, man. I think they'll be playing UCLA if they win. UCLA better watch out. I know they got Lauren Betts and they got a great squad, but Paige Buckets, and this is her last year, she's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft in this coming up WNBA draft. And everybody need to be watching out for her, especially since Juju has got hurt. But what do you think about this women's side of the bracket so far and some of the games that you've seen?
I'm heartbroken about Juju. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was hurt.
I'm very heartbroken about Juju. Of course, you got my Longhorns. They playing right now, TCU and everything. So I'm for sure supporting the Longhorns. But I really feel like South Carolina is, and I feel like a lot of people feel like this, but South Carolina is the best team. But UConn is dangerous, and we were speaking on UCLA a little bit earlier. They're dangerous as well. So I feel like those two teams for sure gonna have something to say about that. Definitely when if they have to play against South Carolina. But I'm supporting my Texas Longhorns. I'm hoping that we come out with the win today against TCU right now. But the women's bracket has been, to me, this is like what, the third year in a row. I would say that the women's, to me, is kind of, and this is not down talking the men's side of the bracket, but I feel like the women's is way more interesting than the men's bracket. I feel like the women's got more star power on their side.
Yes.
Every team, we can point out every team, and every team has somebody that we talk about. Whether it's South Carolina, even with LSU just losing, they got Flage. USC, like we were saying with Juju and everything, even though she's down, you got Paige over at UConn. South Carolina they got players as well that we talk about. They got multiple. Yeah, they got multiple players that we talk about for them. So the women's just got so much star power, bro, that I'm loving it. I'm loving it to the point where I feel like that the men's side of the bracket is kind of lost. These young guys really don't watch March Madness no more, bro.
No,
Um,
they're not watching it like that. And it's to
yeah.
the point that you just made with the star power. I said that at the beginning of the basketball season. That I watch way more women's college basketball than men's. Probably right now I'm watching more men's just because it's the tournament. But during the season, I'm definitely watching way more of the women. And it's exactly I said the exact same reason as you. It's the star power. And in women's college basketball, you have to stay for 4 years. So not only do we get to see a star, we get to see him for 4 years. We've been watching Paige. We've been watching Malaysia Fulwiley the last few years in South Carolina. We've been watching Madison Booker. We've been watching Lauren Betts. Like they have star power because they have to stay all 4 years. So not only do they get to build on their stardom all the way throughout. That's why I like it, and especially with the last couple of years. We had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and then Juju Watkins got added into the picture. Paige Beckers. Like they got the star power. And especially at this time of the year, I'm a lot more tuned into the women's side of the bracket than I am the men's. Because, I like the men's side, but Johnny Broome and LJ Cryer, there's only one star on that side. That's Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is the star in the men's side. None of the rest of those guys are stars. They're stars right now because it's the only games that are there, and people become stars during March Madness. But it's not like the old days where we had Psycho T and Tyler Hansborough. Even going back to the 90s with Grant Hill and Christian Laettner and them boys, or even Melo at Syracuse. Like, we don't have that star power. Steph Curry at Davidson, Jimmy Fredette at BYU. Those are stars, but we don't get that because we have all the one-and-dones. So because of all the one-and-dones, we don't get as much as the star power. Cooper Flagg, like I said, he's a star. But on the women's side, Paige Beckers is a star. Juju Watkins is a star. Joyce Edwards is going to be a star on South Carolina. She's a freshman already playing the way that she is. She's going to be a star. I love Malaysia Fulwiley. Flage just lost, but she's definitely a star. She got multiple commercials. I ain't seen nobody on the men's side with no commercials. Flage got multiple commercials. Juju got multiple commercials. Paige Bucker's got multiple commercials. I'm with you. The star power on the women's side is always going to be a lot better, and it's because they got to stay for 4 years. But it's some really good games. Looking forward to this Final Four here. They got to wrap it up tonight, though, in the Elite Eight. Like I said, Texas and TCU battling right now. They're at halftime, and I'm getting ready to go over there and tune into that game. And USC versus UConn is still going to be a good game. I think the -14 is actually kind of crazy. I understand everybody putting in the bets on UConn, and for sure, I take UConn money line all day long. But the -14 is wild. They did lose Juju, but USC did just beat a Kansas State team. And they're a great team. They just beat Kansas State. They destroyed Mississippi State without Juju playing. That's the game she got hurt in. They still got some good players over there, man. So I'm looking forward to that game tonight, but mainly because I want to watch Paige Beckers. She's a dog. I want to see what she's going to do in a tough game to be able to get to the Final Four and to be able to go there. So those games coming on tonight, folks. But we're out of time here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on Centex Primetime. Still got more to talk about tomorrow. We'll be back in studio tomorrow talking some more about this. We'll talk about the Final Four being set on the women's side of the bracket. We'll talk about some more of these games in the NBA side as well. Rockets versus Lakers tonight. That's the best game on TV. Make sure y'all tuning in for that. That game is at 9 o'clock. The Rockets, like I said, won 12 out of their last 13 games. The Lakers have been playing great. Braun, Austin Reeves, and Luka have been showing out the last few games. So that's going to be a really good game. That's the best game on tonight. But if you're not watching that, obviously the women's bracket going on. Texas versus TCU playing right now. Getting ready to go over there and watch that. Shout out to everybody tuning in with us here today. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place right here on Centex Sports Network. I want to thank PJ for jumping on with me here today. We will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a great evening.